Have you ever encountered someone who enters a room and immediately captures attention, not because they're loud, showy, or pushing too hard, but because there's something about them that feels naturally magnetic? That's quiet attractiveness. It's not about being the focal point, it's about earning respect and admiration without speaking much. It's an energy that's calm, composed, and deeply self-assured, one that pulls others in naturally. Being quietly attractive doesn't demand perfect looks or grand gestures. It stems from how you present yourself, how you engage with others, and how at ease you feel in your own skin. It's about developing habits that communicate more than words, habits that radiate confidence, kindness, and self-respect without seeking attention. And here's the great news: you don't need to change who you are to develop this kind of presence. You simply have to become more in tune with your best self. In this episode, we'll explore 11 socially attractive habits drawn from Stoic wisdom. These aren't tricks or quick fixes, they're timeless principles that help you develop inner strength, emotional intelligence, and a quiet confidence that earns people's respect and admiration without you even trying. We're talking about welcoming independence, mastering silent elegance, nurturing wisdom, and becoming someone whose mere presence creates a lasting impression. By the end of this episode, you'll understand that genuine attractiveness isn't something you pursue. It's something you grow from within. It's quiet, it's steady, and once you master it, you'll realize how powerful it can be in reshaping not just how others perceive you, but how you perceive yourself. So let's begin, because becoming quietly attractive isn't about creating noise, it's about creating an impact without having to shout. Habit 1: embrace your genuine independence. There's a distinct power in those who don't require others to validate their worth, a quiet strength that's impossible to overlook. Genuine independence isn't about shutting yourself off or demonstrating you don't need anyone. It's about living on your own terms, being led by your own values, and discovering fulfillment in who you are, not in how others see you. This sort of independence is magnetic because it conveys a clear, unspoken message: I value myself, and I don't require outside approval to feel complete. People are naturally attracted to those who stand firm in their individuality in a world where so many are consumed by comparison and chasing approval. Genuine independence is uncommon, it's refreshing, it's inspiring. When you're truly self-reliant, you're not trying to keep pace with anyone, you're devoted to your own path, your own growth, and that quiet dedication speaks louder than any words ever could. You don't need to tell people you're confident, they'll sense it. You don't have to declare that you're in charge of your life, it'll show in how you carry yourself, in your calm presence, and in your steady composure. But let's be honest, independence isn't easy. It means believing in yourself when nobody's cheering you on. It means holding firm in your decisions even when they're unpopular. It's about learning to appreciate your own company, not because you're shutting others out, but because you truly discover peace within yourself. And once you arrive there, once you stop requiring outside noise to feel complete, you become someone others respect, admire, and are quietly drawn to. Genuine independence is the opposite of arrogance. It doesn't declare, I don't need anyone. Instead, it says, I'm strong enough on my own, and that's why I can genuinely connect with others. It's about being whole so that your relationships are rooted in mutual respect, not dependence, and that's what makes it so appealing. It's grounded, balanced, and quietly powerful. To develop this habit, begin by examining your values. Ask yourself, am I living according to what genuinely matters to me, or am I being pulled by what others expect from me? Independence starts when you begin making decisions guided by your inner compass instead of outside pressures. Spend time in solitude, not out of loneliness, but to reconnect with yourself, whether it's going for a walk, journaling, or simply sitting in stillness. Those moments reinforce your sense of self. When you build genuine independence, you don't have to chase attention, it comes to you. People will recognize the calm confidence in your presence, the quiet assurance in your actions, and the steady strength in your character. You won't need to be the loudest in the room to get noticed. You'll earn respect because you've created a life that reflects who you genuinely are, and that's something rare and deeply attractive. Embracing independence doesn't mean you don't cherish relationships. It means you respect yourself enough to form connections rooted in trust and mutual respect, not in neediness. And that's what makes you quietly magnetic. It's not loud, it's not showy, it's the kind of confidence that stays with people, leaves a mark, and quietly motivates others to do the Same habit to master the craft of silent elegance. Sometimes the most powerful statement is delivered without words silent. Elegance is the capacity to carry yourself with grace, poise, and calm confidence in every situation. It's about the way you move, how you interact, and the energy you project. You don't need to dominate conversations or be the loudest voice in the room to hold attention. Silent elegance speaks for itself. It's understated, refined, and endlessly captivating. Picture someone who enters a room with a calm, self-assured presence. They don't need to announce themselves, yet people can't help but take notice. This is the core of silent elegance. It's a blend of composure, deliberate actions, and respectful conduct. The way you present yourself leaves a lasting impression, frequently more impactful than anything you could say. It begins with body language. Confidence isn't only in your words, it's in how you stand, how you walk, and how you carry yourself. A relaxed, upright, steady posture with consistent eye contact conveys self-assurance without arrogance. There is no need for exaggerated movements or fidgety gestures. Keep it simple. When your body language projects calm and control, others are naturally drawn toward you. This quiet elegance also shows in your manners, polite behavior, warmly greeting others, genuinely listening with attention, and being mindful in how you treat those around you shows respect and self-respect. This is not about being overly stiff or detached. It is about bringing a quiet grace into every interaction. People remember the way you make them feel, and silent elegance makes them feel respected and valued beyond body language and manners. Silent elegance is really about exercising restraint in a world overflowing with noise. The capacity to remain calm and composed, particularly during challenging situations, is uncommon. When those around you lose their composure, remaining collected grants you quiet power. You need not react impulsively or engage in pointless conflicts. Rather, you respond with intention, demonstrating that you govern yourself rather than being governed by the situation. The Stoics held a deep conviction in the strength of composure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The closer a man approaches a calm mind, the nearer he stands to true strength." Genuine elegance resides in that stillness when your actions are intentional, your words carefully chosen, and your presence unwavering. People trust and respect those who stay grounded even when everything around them descends into chaos. To develop silent elegance, begin with small steps. Observe how you carry yourself throughout the day. Are you hurrying, tense, or overly reactive? Try slowing down, standing tall, and taking deep breaths. Observe how you engage with others. Are you genuinely listening or simply waiting for your chance to speak? Silent elegance develops from mindfulness, staying fully present during your interactions and being deliberate in your responses. Then focus on refinement. Elegance does not require perfection. It means working to bring your best self forward, whether that involves dressing with understated style, communicating with clarity, or handling situations with grace. Those small, consistent efforts are what build an aura of quiet sophistication. Silent elegance is not about pretending to be someone else. It is about embracing who you are with composed confidence. It means showing up fully, not to impress anyone, but to bring your finest energy into every interaction. With time, people will start to connect you with a feeling of calm, respect, and poise. They may not be able to pinpoint why, but they will sense it, and that is what makes silent elegance so compelling. It creates a lasting impression without ever demanding attention. Once you master the art of silent elegance, you move through life with dignity and quiet strength. You need not chase admiration. It follows naturally, and through that quiet grace you become someone who not only stands apart but leaves others inspired to carry themselves with a bit more calm, a bit more respect, and heightened elegance. Habit 3. The understated scent of sophistication. Often it is the smallest details that leave the greatest impressions. The subtle fragrance of sophistication is one of those quiet, frequently overlooked elements that can make you irresistibly appealing. It is not about overpowering those around you. It is about leaving a faint, polished impression that lingers in their mind. A thoughtfully chosen fragrance reflects an attention to detail, personal grooming, and a quiet sense of elegance, all of which contribute to silent attractiveness. Consider this: how often have you remembered someone purely because of their fragrance? It is one of the most powerful instinctive senses we possess. A subtle, pleasing scent builds an aura of sophistication without needing a Single word, it is a quiet way of communicating I look after myself, I appreciate the finer details, and it is within those details that genuine silent attraction is built, but this goes beyond simply wearing cologne or perfume. Sophistication through scent comes down to balance. Overwhelming fragrances can repel people, but a light, refined scent, whether it is a signature fragrance or simply the clean, fresh smell of well-maintained hygiene, can make people naturally want to be near you. It signals that you pay attention not only to your outward appearance but to the unseen details that round out your presence. The craft of scent extends beyond smell. It is about what it symbolizes. Investing the time to select a fragrance that matches your personality reveals a degree of self-awareness and deliberate intention. Whether it is something woody, fresh, or gently sweet, your fragrance should mirror the calm, composed energy you carry. It should complement your presence rather than overwhelm it. But beyond fragrance, sophistication is equally reflected in how you care for yourself as a whole. Personal care, cleanliness, grooming, and thoughtful attention to your appearance silently communicates volumes about your self-respect. This is not vanity, it is about showing that you value yourself enough to present your best self to the world. That quiet confidence, visible in the smallest details, leaves a lasting impression. The Stoics held that how you present yourself outwardly should reflect your inner values. Seneca advised, let your external appearance remain simple and dignified, mirroring the serenity within your mind by nurturing a subtle, refined presence. Through fragrance and personal care, you convey the image of someone who is calm, collected, and mindful, not through words but through action. To adopt this habit, begin by being intentional about your self-care routine. Select a scent that feels true to who you are, something that complements rather than defines your presence. Focus on the small details: clean, neatly groomed hair, fresh breath, and a polished appearance. These are not grand gestures, but they quietly communicate to those around you, building an aura of quiet sophistication. Remember, silent attraction is not about trying to stand out, it is about being effortlessly memorable, and scent, when applied with subtlety and care, is one of the most effective ways to accomplish that. It serves as a quiet signature that leaves a lasting mark, something people connect with you well after you've stepped out of the room. Perfecting the understated scent of elegance goes beyond just fragrance. It's about the silent statement it conveys: I take pride in my identity, I pay attention to the finer points, I value myself. And that statement, made without uttering a word, is what renders you quietly and irresistibly appealing. Habit for being completely present in a world overflowing with distractions. There's something incredibly compelling about a person who is genuinely present. Being completely present goes beyond just physical attendance. It means offering your total attention to the current moment and the people around you. This subtle yet strong habit sets you apart, not because you seek attention, but because you provide something increasingly scarce: authentic connection. We have all felt it, the annoyance of speaking with someone who is only partly listening, their gaze drifting to their phone or their thoughts clearly somewhere else. It feels disrespectful, as though your words hold no weight. Yet when someone is fully engaged, when they look you in the eye, listening without cutting in and replying thoughtfully, it feels different. You feel acknowledged, respected, and appreciated. That is the quiet strength of presence. It pulls people closer by making them feel significant. Being completely present is not about perfection, it is about intentionality. It means fighting the impulse to glance at your phone every couple minutes or mentally preparing what you plan to say next. It is about immersing yourself in the dialogue, concentrating on what the other person says and responding with authentic interest. Once you develop this habit, you build deeper, more fulfilling bonds, because people do not simply recall what you said, they recall how you made them feel. Stoic philosophy stresses living in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, confine yourself to the present. The Stoics believed that genuine strength and insight arise from fully engaging with the here and now rather than being stuck in the past or consumed by the future. When you are present, you command your mind, your emotions, and your interactions, which makes you someone others instinctively admire and gravitate toward. Presence also involves watching without judgment. It concerns picking up on subtleties, the feelings beneath someone's words, the energy of a room, or the unspoken signals in a Conversation. That degree of awareness renders you more perceptive, empathetic, and socially attuned and social. Intelligence paired with authentic presence renders you quietly irresistible to develop this habit. Begin by practicing mindfulness in daily moments, whether you're having a discussion, eating a meal, or walking. Outdoors, immerse fully in the experience, set aside distractions, listen more than you talk when you're fully present. You project a serene confidence and warmth, traits that help people feel secure and appreciated near you. Presence is magnetic. Because it's so uncommon in a world constantly competing for attention, someone who gives their full focus stands out not by seeking to be noticed, but by helping others feel truly seen. When you offer someone your complete attention, you express without speaking a word you are important, and that is a message people never forget. Being fully present is not about grand displays, it's about small, steady moments of connection. It's about showing up not merely in body but in mind and heart. When you develop this habit, you will see how people naturally confide in you, how discussions grow richer, and how your bonds strengthen with ease. Presence builds trust, trust builds attraction, and attraction, when rooted in respect and authentic connection, is both subtle and powerful. In a loud world, become the person who listens, become the person who is completely there. You will be amazed how captivating you become, not because you are seeking attention, but because your steady focus helps others feel genuinely seen and valued. That is the sort of quiet attractiveness that creates an enduring impression. Habit 5. A touch of mystery. In a world where oversharing has become standard, there is something deeply attractive about a person who keeps a part of themselves reserved. A hint of mystery is not about being cold or secretive, it is about holding back just enough to ignite curiosity. It is about knowing when to reveal and when to let things remain unspoken. Building an aura of intrigue that gently pulls people closer. Mystery holds power because it leaves space for others to be curious. When you expose everything about yourself at once, nothing remains to uncover. But when you keep particular parts of your life private, you encourage others to seek to know more. This is not manipulation, it is the natural appeal of the unknown. People are naturally drawn to curiosity, and when you nurture a degree of mystery, you become someone they wish to understand deeper. Yet being mysterious does not mean being dishonest or playing games. It means being thoughtful about what you share. You should not need to announce every detail of your life or justify every choice you make. Rather, concentrate on sharing what feels worthwhile while keeping certain parts of your life to yourself. When you achieve this balance, you appear confident, self-possessed, and quietly fascinating. The Stoics valued the principle of self-restraint, understanding when to speak and when to stay quiet. Epictetus taught, remain silent or ensure your words carry more weight than silence. Mystery operates in the same fashion. It's not about withholding for its own sake, it's about offering value when you speak and recognizing when silence communicates more. Building mystery extends beyond words, it also involves your actions. Leave people wondering a little. Do not always explain the reasons behind your choices. When you make a bold move, let your actions do the talking. This understated confidence shows that you need no validation. You are comfortable letting your life play out without needing constant justification. Another method for adding a hint of mystery is leading a layered life. Become the sort of person with depth, interests, passions, and values that aren't instantly apparent. When people come to know you, they should feel as though they're uncovering layers, finding new dimensions of who you are over time. This turns interactions with you into something more engaging, more memorable, and more meaningful. To welcome mystery, begin by asking yourself, do I overshare to seek validation, or do I share what genuinely matters? The aim isn't to become distant. It's to become deliberate, reveal enough to foster trust and connection, but reserve enough to leave space for curiosity. Allow people to earn access to your deeper stories. This not only safeguards your personal space, but also makes those bonds more rewarding. When you nurture a hint of mystery, people will struggle to place you into a box. You'll stay intriguing, someone they can't entirely figure out, yet someone they want to spend time with. Mystery draws attention without requiring it. It keeps people returning, eager to discover more, to understand you at a deeper level. In a world where most people are an open book, be the one who reveals just a glimpse of the story. Let them wonder, let them imagine. That hint of mystery paired with quiet confidence produces an irresistible presence, one that stays in their minds Well, after you've left the room, habit 6, develop cultural wisdom. There's something undeniably appealing about a person who carries themselves with quiet confidence and a wide understanding of the world around them. Building cultural wisdom means fostering an open mind, welcoming diverse perspectives, and enriching your conversations with insight that reaches beyond the surface. It's not about displaying how much you know, it's about being someone who listens, grows, and shares thoughtful perspectives when the occasion calls for it. Cultural wisdom isn't confined to knowing facts about various countries or speaking several languages. It's about being curious. Curious about people's experiences, traditions, and perspectives. It reveals that you're someone who doesn't exist in a bubble but actively works to grasp the world beyond your immediate surroundings. This wide awareness adds depth to your character, making you someone who can participate meaningfully in any conversation. People are drawn to those who make them feel seen, heard, and appreciated. When you develop cultural wisdom, you become that person. You build empathy for different ways of living, which enables you to connect with people from all walks of life. This quiet understanding makes you approachable and respected without needing to dominate a conversation. Rather than imposing your views, you provide insights that encourage reflection and dialogue. The Stoics believed in the importance of understanding the world and one's place within it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look beneath the surface, let not outward appearances deceive you." Developing cultural wisdom enables you to see deeper, not just at people but at life itself. It grants you the ability to handle complex social situations with grace because you're not rigid in your thinking. You've learned to view things from various angles, which makes you adaptable, thoughtful, and quietly captivating. To build cultural wisdom, begin by expanding your horizons. Read books that challenge your viewpoints. Engage in conversations with people who have different experiences from your own. Travel if you can, or discover new cultures through documentaries and online resources. The aim isn't to become a walking encyclopedia, it's to become someone who values the richness of human experience. Another essential element of cultural wisdom is listening without judgment. When someone shares their views, resist the impulse to immediately agree or disagree. Instead, aim to understand their viewpoint. Ask meaningful questions. Demonstrate that you're sincerely interested in learning, not simply waiting for your turn to talk. This approach not only expands your understanding but also makes people feel appreciated in your presence. Being knowledgeable doesn't require you to dominate a conversation. In truth, the most attractive individuals are those who understand when to speak and when to listen. When you do share, do so with humility and genuineness. Offer insights not to impress but to elevate the conversation. People respect those who contribute meaningfully without turning every exchange into a lecture. Ask yourself, am I willing to learn from every person I encounter? Developing cultural wisdom is less about what you know and more about how eager you are to learn. When you adopt this mindset, you project a quiet intelligence that draws people in, not because you're striving to be impressive but because you sincerely care about understanding the world and the people within it. People are naturally drawn to those who bring depth to a conversation, who share perspectives that challenge them to think. By developing cultural wisdom, you become someone whose presence is both soothing and intellectually engaging. You'll discover that people seek your company not because you're loud but because your quiet, reflective nature leaves a lasting impression in a world where opinions are often loud and superficial. Be the person who speaks with depth and grace. Nurture wisdom not for display but for the richness it adds to your life, and quietly observe as people are drawn to the calm, grounded energy you radiate. That's the silent strength of cultural wisdom. It makes you not just attractive but unforgettable. Habit 7, the heartbeat of compassion. In a fast-paced world where everyone is hurrying, pausing to demonstrate genuine empathy and kindness sets you apart. Compassion isn't loud, it's quiet yet deeply powerful. It's the silent heartbeat that helps people feel safe, understood, and valued in your presence. While many attempt to win others over through charm or impressiveness, true attraction stems from being someone who listens, cares, and extends warmth without expectation. Compassion isn't about grand gestures, it shows up in the small things: a considerate word, a warm smile, a patient ear when somebody needs to be listened to. When you show compassion, you project a quiet strength that naturally pulls people toward you. Why Because true kindness is uncommon in a world where most interactions are transactional. Being a person who gives without any expectation of return sets you apart in the most meaningful way. People are naturally drawn to those who help them feel understood rather than judged. Compassion builds a bridge. It enables you to connect with others on an emotional level, nurturing trust and intimacy. It's not about solving people's problems or always having the perfect answers. It's about showing up and demonstrating that you care, and that simple act of being present creates a lasting impression, far more meaningful than words. The Stoics, often regarded as proponents of emotional detachment, actually highlighted empathy and kindness as fundamental virtues. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be lenient with others and demanding of yourself." Stoic compassion is not about being soft, it's about recognizing the struggles of others while preserving inner strength. When you carry this mindset through life, you become someone others feel pulled toward, not because you fix their problems, but because your presence provides calm and reassurance. Developing compassion does not mean allowing others to take advantage of you. It's about striking a balance, being kind yet not a pushover, being empathetic yet not taking on everyone's burdens. Compassion begins with listening, not to reply, but to understand. When someone opens up to you, offer them your complete attention. Hold back the impulse to provide immediate solutions or advice. Sometimes all a person needs is to feel truly heard. Compassion also means showing patience with others and with yourself. Nobody is perfect, and life is messy. When you display patience during difficult moments, you reveal emotional maturity, a quality that is quietly attractive. People remember those who stayed composed and supportive when things were difficult. They might not express it openly, but they'll hold that memory with them, and that's what makes you silently magnetic. Ask yourself, am I someone who helps others feel seen and valued? If the answer is not always yes, that's fine. Compassion is a habit that can be developed over time. Begin by being gentle with yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup, so attend to your own emotional well-being first. When you're patient and compassionate toward yourself, it becomes natural to extend that same kindness to others. Being compassionate does not require you to be perfect. It doesn't mean you must always have the right words or actions. It simply means showing up, being authentic, and being kind, and that quiet kindness, it creates an impact that words cannot match. It's what causes people to remember you, not because you impress them, but because you help them feel valued in a world that frequently ignores the significance of empathy. In the end, the heartbeat of compassion is not about transforming the world, it's about transforming how you show up within it. Be the person who listens more than they talk, who extends kindness without expectation, and who stays patient during moments of frustration. Silent attraction is not about noise, it's about presence, and compassion given quietly and genuinely is among the most powerful forms of presence. There is habit. 8. Laughter and joy. Few things are as universally appealing as someone who radiates authentic joy and can laugh with ease. Laughter is a universal connector, tearing down barriers and making even the most serious situations feel lighter. When you build the habit of finding joy in life's moments, whether big or small, you become someone others naturally gravitate toward. Why? Because your presence carries a sense of warmth and lightness that's both refreshing and magnetic. Life is filled with challenges, and everyone encounters their share of hardships. But when you cultivate the ability to find humor even in tough situations, you display resilience, a trait that quietly commands respect. It's not about being the loudest person in the room or the center of attention. It's about holding an inner sense of joy that puts those around you at ease. People are drawn to those who can elevate the energy of a room without forcing it, those who can discover something to smile about even when things aren't perfect. Stoicism, frequently viewed as a philosophy of seriousness, actually encourages this mindset. The Stoics held that while we cannot control external events, we can control how we respond to them. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Deciding to respond to life's unpredictability with a sense of humor is an act of quiet strength. It reveals that you're in command of your emotions, not the other way around. Laughter also has a way of forging deep, memorable bonds. Consider this: how many of your closest friendships were deepened through shared laughter? Humor builds trust, it fosters a sense of belonging, it helps people feel comfortable around you because they know they don't need to be perfect to be accepted. When you can laugh at yourself and life's oddities, you become approachable, relatable, and quietly attractive. But developing this habit is not about forcing humor or striving to be the funniest person in the room. It's about welcoming joy in a genuine way. It means not taking yourself too seriously and discovering moments to smile. Even on ordinary days, it's about appreciating the lighter side of life without dismissing its seriousness, recognizing the difficulties while choosing to focus on what's good. To build this habit, start by noticing your daily moments of joy. When something brings you a smile, lean into it. Share a light-hearted remark or a funny observation with the people around you. Learn to laugh at your own mistakes, not in a way that undermines your effort, but in a way that reveals you're human and comfortable with it. When people see you don't take yourself too seriously, they feel more at ease around you, and that's where genuine connection starts. It's equally important to surround yourself with joy. Spend time with those who lift you up, who draw out the best in you, and who can find humor in everyday moments. Joy is infectious, and when you make sharing laughter with those around you a habit, you build an atmosphere where everyone feels lighter, more optimistic, and more deeply connected. Ask yourself, am I letting joy be a part of my everyday life? Life doesn't always need to be serious. There's power in being able to laugh even when things aren't ideal. It demonstrates that you can handle life's highs and lows with grace and resilience, and that's a quality people admire above all else. Remember, silent attractiveness isn't about grand gestures, it's about quiet, consistent qualities that create a lasting impression. Laughter and joy, when shared, genuinely make you a person others are naturally drawn to. You don't have to force it, just notice the moments that bring you joy and share them with the people around you. When you develop laughter and joy as a habit, you'll see how much lighter life becomes, not just for you, but for everyone in your orbit. And that quiet sense of joy, it's what makes you unforgettable. People may not recall every word you speak, but they'll always remember the way you made them feel. Bring a touch of lightness, some humor, and a dash of joy wherever you go, and you'll discover that silent attraction follows naturally. Habit 9, the art of self-care. There's a quiet, undeniable magnetism in someone who genuinely takes care of themselves, not driven by vanity but by respect for their own well-being. Self-care is more than a routine, it's a declaration. It quietly signals that you value yourself, your body, and your mind, and that you're prepared to invest in nurturing both. This habit makes you appealing in a way that transcends appearances. It projects self-respect, balance, and inner strength. When you make self-care a priority, you send a clear message to the world: I honor myself enough to put my health and happiness first. This quiet confidence naturally draws people in, not because you're chasing attention, but because people are inherently attracted to those who radiate vitality and balance. Self-care doesn't mean indulging yourself endlessly, it's about consistently doing what keeps you grounded, energized, and at peace. The basis of self-care begins with physical well-being. A person who looks after their body through consistent exercise, proper nutrition, and sufficient rest sends a quiet but powerful message of discipline and respect. You don't have to look like a fitness model, but keeping a healthy lifestyle shows that you accept responsibility for your own well-being. When others notice that you respect your body, it generates an unspoken admiration. They see someone who values themselves enough to remain dedicated to their health. But self-care isn't only about the body, it's also about mental and emotional well-being. Life is demanding, and we all encounter challenges. However, those who practice self-care develop habits that help them handle stress effectively, whether it's through meditation, journaling, or just taking time to decompress. Self-care enables you to stay mentally resilient. This mental clarity produces a calm, collected presence, something that others can feel and are naturally attracted to. The Stoics believed in maintaining balance and inner harmony. Seneca once wrote, "A sound mind in a sound body is a brief but complete description of a happy state in this world." Practicing self-care aligns perfectly with this Stoic wisdom. When you nurture both your mind and body, you develop a state of balance that helps you not only feel better but also become more appealing to those around you. You project calm, control, and quiet strength. Self-care also means establishing healthy boundaries. It involves recognizing when to say no, when to rest, and when to put your needs above the constant demands of the world. People who value themselves enough to establish boundaries are often more attractive, not because they're unreachable, but because they recognize their worth. Boundaries safeguard your energy, and when you're intentional about where you invest your time and attention, you naturally earn respect from others. Ask yourself, am I caring for myself in a way that reflects my own self-worth? If the answer is no, it's time to begin small. Start by making self-care a non-negotiable part of your daily routine, whether it's getting adequate sleep, eating wholesome meals, or taking a few moments to breathe deeply and ground yourself. These small acts of care add up over time, building a life that feels balanced and fulfilling. Genuine self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you look after yourself, you show up stronger for others. You bring more energy, more patience, and more clarity to offer in your relationships, and that quiet sense of balance, it's profoundly attractive. People notice those who appear calm, composed, and full of vitality, not because they're seeking to be noticed, but because they've built a life that feels good from the inside out. Ultimately, the art of self-care is about consistency. It's about showing up for yourself each day, even when life gets hectic or stressful. It's about honoring your body, your mind, and your emotional well-being, understanding that by doing so you're creating a foundation for a more peaceful, vibrant life. And when you practice self-care consistently, you'll observe something remarkable. People will be drawn to the quiet confidence and inner strength that emerges from genuinely valuing yourself. Self-care isn't loud, it never demands attention, it just shows, and through that quiet, consistent practice, you become someone whose presence feels centered, grounded, and deeply attractive. So look after yourself, not because someone is watching, but because you are worth it. And notice how, without uttering a single word, the world takes notice. Habit 10. Emotional intelligence and social awareness. There is something effortlessly captivating about someone who genuinely understands the feelings of those around them. Emotional intelligence and social awareness rank among the most powerful yet underrated habits you can develop to become silently attractive. This has nothing to do with manipulating situations or controlling outcomes. It is about learning to read the room, respond to the emotions of others, and navigate social dynamics with grace and empathy. At its foundation, emotional intelligence is the capacity to recognize, understand, and regulate your own emotions while staying attuned to the feelings of others. Picture a tense situation where everyone is on edge. The emotionally intelligent person does not add fuel to the fire. Instead, they remain calm, observe, and respond with care. This quiet composure makes them someone people naturally respect and turn to for direction. People tend to remember how you made them feel more than the words you spoke. When you exercise emotional intelligence, you create a space where people feel seen, heard, and understood. You are not trying to dominate conversations or prove a point. You are listening, engaging, and responding in a way that builds connection. This subtle yet powerful habit makes you memorable, not because you demanded attention, but because your presence made others feel appreciated. Social awareness, on the other hand, is the ability to pick up on social signals and adapt accordingly. It means knowing when to speak and when to listen, when to step forward and when to step back. The Stoics placed great value on self-mastery and understanding others. Epictetus taught we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. Social awareness enables you to do exactly that. It helps you engage meaningfully without overpowering or dominating the conversation. Developing emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. Ask yourself, how do I usually react in emotionally charged situations? The aim is not to suppress your emotions, but to respond to them in a balanced way. When you understand your triggers and understand how to handle them, you radiate a quiet confidence that people find incredibly attractive. You are not easily shaken, and that steadiness is something others naturally gravitate toward once you have developed self-awareness. The next step is empathy, genuinely grasping what others are feeling, even if they do not say it outright. Empathy is not about fixing problems, it is about showing you care. Sometimes a simple nod, a patient ear, or a considerate response can make all the difference. These small, quiet acts of understanding are what create lasting impressions. Social awareness also means being mindful of the energy you bring into a Space, are you bringing calmness, or are you adding to the tension when you enter a room? Observe before acting. Pay attention to the dynamics at play by doing so you become someone who is not reactive but responsive, someone who understands how to engage in a way that elevates the atmosphere rather than disrupts it. To develop this habit, work on being fully present in your interactions, set aside distractions, make eye contact, and genuinely listen. Pay attention to the tone of conversation and the body language of the people around you. These small mindful actions may appear subtle, but they carry a profound impact. People are drawn to those who make them feel understood and respected, traits that emotional intelligence naturally cultivates. Ask yourself, am I fostering a positive space in my interactions, or am I unintentionally creating tension? When you start to approach social situations with this degree of mindfulness, you will notice a shift. People will seek your company not because you are trying to get noticed, but because your presence feels anchoring and reassuring in a world where so many interactions are fueled by ego and impulsiveness. Emotional intelligence stands apart. It is a quiet strength that never needs to announce itself. It is felt. When you practice emotional intelligence and social awareness, you become a person who moves through life with grace, composure, and purpose, and that quiet confidence is irresistibly attractive. Ultimately, being emotionally intelligent is not about perfection. It is about being present, aware, and thoughtful. It is about knowing when to speak and when to listen, when to lead and when to follow. Develop this habit, and you will find that people are drawn not just to your words but to who you are. Quiet, steady, and emotionally attuned, you will leave an impression that lasts long after the conversation has ended. Habit 11. Consistency and reliability. Few qualities are as silently attractive as consistency and reliability in a world where people frequently overpromise and underdeliver. Being someone who can be depended on, who follows through on commitments and shows up when it counts, sets you apart in the most meaningful way. This is not about being flashy or chasing recognition. It is about earning trust through steady actions day after day without feeling the need to make a big deal of it. Consistency builds a sense of stability in your relationships. When people know they can count on you, whether for advice, support, or simply honoring your word, it builds a quiet respect. You never have to broadcast your dependability. It is demonstrated through your actions. Over time, this reliability creates a solid reputation. People will see you as someone who does not waver when times are hard, someone they can count on during moments of doubt. Reliability is not about being perfect, it's about appearing even when it's not convenient. It's about being the type of person who, when they commit to doing something, they actually follow through. Consider how uncommon that has become in the modern world. So many people bail on plans at the last moment, make promises they never plan to honor, or only appear when it serves them. When you reliably follow through on your word, you distinguish yourself not by being loud but by being dependable. Stoicism strongly emphasizes discipline and living in alignment with one's principles. Marcus Aurelius counseled, waste no further time debating what a good man should be, just be one. Consistency is the embodiment of that concept. You don't need to speak about your values, constantly live them out, and people will notice. The understated power of being reliable creates a form of silent magnetism. People trust you, look up to you, and want to be near you because they sense you're grounded. Consistency also demonstrates self-respect. When you're dependable, you're not merely honoring commitments to others, you're honoring commitments to yourself, whether it's pursuing your personal goals, keeping up your habits, or remaining true to your values. Staying consistent in how you live strengthens your confidence, and that understated confidence is profoundly attractive. It's not manufactured, it's earned. To develop this practice, begin by honoring small promises. When you commit to doing something, follow through regardless of how trivial it might appear. Over time, these small actions accumulate into something significant. You build a reputation not through grand gestures but through appearing again and again in both the major moments and the minor ones. Dependability also means maintaining emotional consistency. It means avoiding unpredictable or reactive behavior in your interactions. People are naturally attracted to those who bring composed, steady energy into a space, those who aren't easily rattled by external turmoil. When you develop emotional stability, people feel secure around you. They trust that you won't overreact or vanish when things Become hard. Ask yourself, am I someone others can count on? If the answer isn't always yes, start small, you don't have to become perfectly reliable overnight. Instead, begin by being consistent in your everyday routines, showing up for yourself first. From there, expand that consistency into your relationships. Honor your word, keep your commitments, and show up when it counts. Dependability doesn't seek attention, it earns respect quietly over time, and that's what gives it such power in a world filled with distractions and fleeting commitments. Being someone who is steady, reliable, and faithful to their word leaves a lasting impression. You become someone people admire, not because you're attempting to impress them, but because your actions speak on their own. At the close of the day, silent attractiveness is not about grand gestures or quick fixes. It's about developing habits such as consistency and dependability that foster trust, respect, and admiration over time. Be the person who appears, who follows through, who lives according to their principles without seeking applause. That understated strength will not only make you more attractive, it will also make you someone who leaves a lasting positive mark on everyone you encounter. Genuine attractiveness is not about being the loudest, the flashiest, or the most visible person in the room. It's about developing habits that quietly speak for themselves, habits that draw people toward you without them knowing precisely why. Throughout this episode, we have explored 11 socially attractive habits, each grounded in calm confidence, understated strength, and authentic connection. When you embrace your genuine independence, you send a compelling message. You value yourself, and you don't depend on outside validation for your worth. By mastering silent elegance, you craft an aura of grace that captivates without a single word. Through refined sophistication, you demonstrate attention to detail while being fully present, enables you to build deeper connections. A hint of mystery leaves people curious and nurturing. Cultural wisdom expands your perspective, making every interaction richer and more compelling. Compassion, humor, self-care, emotional intelligence, and consistency. Each of these practices adds a dimension to your quiet magnetism. Combined, they produce a presence that is calm, poised, and naturally attractive. The beauty of these habits is that they don't ask you to change who you are, they encourage you to become more aligned with the finest version of yourself. Silent attraction is not about demanding attention, it's about becoming someone who naturally inspires respect and admiration organically. It's not about being flawless, it's about being genuine, being deliberate, and showing up completely in every moment. When you develop these habits, you don't just improve how others perceive you, you transform how you perceive yourself. You start to carry yourself with a calm assurance, recognizing that you are enough exactly as you are in the end. Genuine attractiveness is grounded in self-respect and purposeful living. You don't need to be loud to leave a lasting impression. You don't need to seek approval to be respected. When you live genuinely with purpose and quiet confidence, people will gravitate toward you, not because you're seeking to be noticed, but because your presence offers something rare: calm, connection, and authentic depth. So as you move ahead, reflect on these habits. Which ones speak to you? Which one can you start to develop today? Remember, it's not about making sweeping changes overnight. It's about small, deliberate steps that gradually reshape your presence over time. Thank you for listening. If this episode moved you, take a moment to consider how you can weave these habits into your daily life. Stay true to yourself, keep evolving, and let your quiet confidence speak far louder than words. Until next time, stay grounded, stay purposeful, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself.